All right, happy race day, happy biggest race day, Maren, in motorsports, as they say. We're capping the cup. We're back after a week off last week for the All-Star race. You know, it was, Maren almost had 3 in a row there week prior, and, you know, we were out at dinner at the, what was that restaurant called? Some kind of pretty good Mexican restaurant went to out on Mother's Day, and watched the race on my phone. I start counting the money, thinking Reddick's going to go ahead and pass Buescher, and he ended up screwing us both, Maren. So Maren didn't get the 3 in a row. It was a bit of a slide, but you know, we've been on the up. We had a nice little W yesterday in the Xfinity Series, so we'll take it. It's Coca-Cola 600 time. You know, we got the Indy 500. Hopefully going to get that whole race in. It seems like that's a little bit iffy. That's why we're getting our picks out now. Shout out to NASCAR Prophecy I was reading Twitter, and he had brought up that if they take Larson off the board because he's not going to make the race on time, Justin Allgaier on standby, the odds are going to shift. So we got our plays in. You know what I mean? That's what I suggest you do too. Get them in. Get out to the barbecue. Do what you're doing. Crack some beers, crack some waters, whatever it is you like to drink. Have a good day, because we got a lot of good racing in front of us. Monaco, I was bored. But, you know, it is what it is. It's Monaco. Still looks cool. Still looks a cool place to go to. But we're moving on. Indy 500, you know, I might throw a little wager out there. McLaughlin looked pretty damn fast, and I definitely think I'm going to be playing Larson for that. But we're here to cap the cup. And I ran the numbers, and I looked at a lot of stuff for this race. You know, this is an interesting race, right? It's the longest race of the year. Maren really loved it the one year. It was like 9 hours long. That was, you loved that when it was like 9 hours long. Remember that?
That was horrible.
Horrible? It's like the best race ever. So here we go. I'm going to keep it simple, really. I looked at everything. 55% of the winning drivers of this race in its history have actually come, I think, from within the top 5 starting positions. So that's something to keep in mind. And I went back and looked at all the past winners of the Coca-Cola 600s. And this is not a race that, you know, randoms or outliers really win. I went back 40 years to 1984, took a little page out of Larry McReynolds' book, and I found there was only 4 occasions where somebody won this race that didn't end up having double-digit wins in their career or get into the Hall of Fame. And so a lot of them were like rain-shortened races or guys running out of gas. So I'm really looking at veteran guys. I'm looking at guys that know how to manage a car over a really long period of time in different weather conditions. Remember, the sun is going to be up and bright at the beginning of this race. It's going to then become a night race. And so who am I looking at? I'm looking at William Byron, 24 car. He's plus 700. Really good numbers here. Numbers have fallen off a little bit in the next gen, but overall very good. That'll be 3/4 of a unit play, 0.75 units. I'm looking at Martin Truex, plus 650. Truex, really, really great numbers here. Better in the next gen, so opposite of Byron. He's actually gotten better in the next gen car here, and showed really nice speed as well in practice and qualifying. And then Chase Elliott, who seemingly never practices or qualifies well. I don't know what that team, they can't figure out. But one thing, I watch that team very closely. Obviously, you know, no bias. I root for the 9 team. They seem to pick it up as the race goes on. And there's been a lot of races this year, Maren, where I would say if they had another 50, 60 laps, they could have potentially made more noise than they have this year. So I think that, you know, it wouldn't shock me. They did come out and get that 5th place qualifying position. So I'm looking at Chase plus 850, another 3/4 of a unit play. There's some guys I see here that I know are quick, like Ty Gibbs. I know that Kyle Busch has good history here at Charlotte. Ryan Blaney, good history here at Charlotte. I don't know if I see the trajectory with them, and you know, it's really tough when you start out front. If I'm going to look at Ty and William on the front row, I've got to look at that Williams got a little bit more of that EXP, and you know, the car's going to change. It's easy when you're in, you know, clean air, right? So now that could hurt William too, but I like to diversify my portfolio. So Marin, Coke 600. Marin did agree to watch the last, I think, 40 laps. So that'll be exciting. Who you got?
Yeah, so let me just kind of take a look.
I'll sort this by favorites for you.
Yeah, reminder, I just kind of throw darts at a wall. But yeah, it's going to be the longest race of the year, which means that I will take a very long nap until I get woken up for the last 40 laps.
Well, I ain't going to wake you up if you're asleep, man. I know you got like a 8 o'clock, and we've been going to bed 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. You're probably not going to be awake for the end.
Most likely. I will most likely not be conscious. So, I'll go with Hamlin.
Okay, Denny Hamlin's a guy that I did not mention. He's somebody who, prior to looking at everything, was absolutely on my radar. Somebody, it would be no shock whatsoever to me. The one thing where I backed off of Denny was that in the next-gen car at Charlotte, he really had a large discrepancy between his median finish. I know accidents play a factor into all that, but I'm looking at his average points as well, and it was just a little bit lower than his teammate Martin. So that's what gave me the edge to go with Martin over Denny. I think Denny's a great play for people that are interested in the 11 car.
Oh, yeah. I'll go with PP Pants Reddick.
Okay, well, I didn't tell you this earlier about him. I didn't mention him. He has great speed, but he actually received a penalty. I think I may have actually mentioned it to you yesterday. He's going to have to do a pass-through at the beginning of the race. And so it's potentially possible that he could end up a lap down. Now, I expect him to, maybe get the lap back based on the speed. Again, it's a long race. He's plus 1,000. You may see if he goes a lap down, you may be able to get some great live action on the 45 car.
And I'll take Byron.
Okay, going on the 24 car with me, broke that down, plus 700. So, all right. Hopefully, I'd love to see Kyle Larson be able to do the double. I don't know if it's going to happen this year. I did find it was a 2-year contract, so if he doesn't do it this year, he'll do it next year, weather permitting. Either way, it's just going to be a great afternoon. Let's remember as well what this holiday is about, to our fallen veterans and everything that everybody else like that, as we know. And let's have a good race day.
Happy Memorial Day, gamblers.
All right.